good morning from Semarang. It's really honored for us this morning to have a joint course between the Diponegoro University with the Handong Global University. And we are happy to start with the esteemed speaker from the Nanjing University, Prof. Chun. And we have actually only like 1 hour until 9 a.m. Semarang time. So it's about 55 minutes from now, as I know students from the Handong will have other schedule. And that's, I think we can just start. We give the floor to you, Prof. June, or maybe you can start with also briefly introduce your research background. I know you will share something about Chinese urbanizations and also sustainable effort in dealing with such development issues based on the Chinese experience. So with this, I hand it over to you, Prof. Chun. Thank you.
Okay, nice to meet you. So I just share my PPT.
Yeah, please share the PPT.
Okay, it's nice to meet you. So my name is Chun Hyun-Jin. Actually, I'm from Korea, but I working in China. So I already working almost more than 10 years, almost 15 years. I'm full professor at Nanjing University Aeronautics and Astronautics. Also, I'm the president of the Asian Cultural Landscape Association. So today I just met in so many Korean students from Handong University. So actually, I'm from Busan. So my friend is also graduate Handong University. Yeah, like this. And very happy to meet you guys. And maybe next time we will meet in also just some Indonesia next time. Yeah, something like this. Okay. Today I'm just working in China, and I just actually I'm graduate the PhD Seoul National University, and so long time ago. And then and that time I just research about Chinatown, Daerim, Chinatown in Seoul, and also and that time I'm very interested about Chinese culture. So I just go to in China, and I just postdoc in Chinese university, and then I just working there is more than almost 15 years. So I just understand in Chinese the economy or Chinese the urban planning, there are very huge development and so fast and this situation. So I just today talk about Chinese changing landscapes, urban growth and environmental challenge. Okay, I just explained to about Chinese urbanization. China has the experience of so fast and largest urbanization in human history. So it's also Korea is so fast, and also nowadays Vietnam or some Indonesia also is so fast like it's China. So, but in the 20th centuries, it's most fastest in the urbanization. The urbanization rate in the first is 1978, the 17, the 0.09 point, or now 2023, 66% is urbanization. The urban population is 172 million, 1978. The 2023 is 937 million. The population is urban population. So it's the Chinese urbanization is a great phenomena that affect in the world. So it's nowadays also I just understand in Indonesia, so there are many people to go to Jakarta or Surabaya or as the Semarang kind of big city, but it's also Jakarta is have the problem, water problem and water pollution problem, and then I heard it's a new capital city in Nusantara kind of situation. So we should understand that China the situation, and it is better to understand the kind of how can we do in the future. So it's a policy driver, and 1978, the opening the kind of market from in the Communist Party, and that time it's a party secretary is Deng Xiaoping. He is the president over in China, and he make a special economy zone like a Shenzhen, and there are many the labor to come to here. So if so many people come to the Shenzhen is kind of near on the East Sea, and there is the Chinese is some the in that east area to develop first, and then they just develop the west area. So east area is they just decide the Shenzhen area. Shenzhen is near the Hong Kong, and that time Hong Kong is the included in United Kingdom. So it's very easy to the communication with the Western country. So the Shenzhen is very the near the located Hong Kong. They open the market. So in this situation, there are many people to come to the Shenzhen. They need is infrastructure like port and railways. And that time is east area. There are many people to there to move to the east area because their government invested so much money, and then many people the migration is 290 million migrant worker from the countryside to the city, and because they need to get a job, and then also they have the high education because in that time 1978 not many university in China, but its government seeing is we need a high the talent the kind of expert or the kind of the worker. There make the many university in the east area in even though it's my in Nanjing also there have almost 40 university in one city, and there are many universities to make because it's to give some high education to people. So it's the urban the expansion case study is kind of first I already said to Shenzhen. It's very surprised. There now it's a very big city. The first time in 1970 just a fishing village, but now it's to fishing village to its global tech hub to change. So because China is a four big city, it's one of is Beijing, the second is Shanghai, the third is Guangzhou, the first is the Shenzhen. So before it's a very small city, but now it's one of the biggest city in the China. So it's transportation, and the 1980 just 0.3 million people, the 30 square kilometer urban area, but nowadays 2023, 17.7 the million people live in there. The Shenzhen location is 1,1997 the square kilometer. So it's now it's a many high-rise density is because it's very many people they need to house and develop, and the central government in Beijing to invest so much money. Also, they have the special economy zone. There many companies come to here. They give some low tax to our many advantage into the company. So everybody know that Huawei the center is headquarters in Shenzhen. So Huawei is there are many the mobile phone in the globally is very famous the company. Or the everybody know that Tencent. Tencent is also one of is one very big the internet company. The Tencent. The Tencent is the headquarters is also located in the Shenzhen. So another is urban expansion case study is Beijing. Beijing actually is a very long time the capital of China. So, but it's the open the market in 1978. They just make us a mega city, and then also the cities there are many people, so it's not enough to the land, and then they just serve urbanization to that. So it's an urban area. It's 1986. It's just only 487 square kilometer, but 2020, 1,368 kilometer. This is almost it's almost I heard that 20 times bigger than in Seoul. So Beijing is 20 times. Just land is 20 times bigger than Seoul. It's so big the mega city in the Beijing. Beijing is also not enough the land. It's so many people, so they make a satellite town. So it's in Beijing nearby. There are many the satellite town. It's in Seoul is the same. The Seoul nearby is Gimpo or so the Paju. There are many the satellite towns so like this. Also, it's Jakarta and nearby is Bogor Center. There are many satellite towns. Because it's so many people, they have not enough money from the countryside. They not enough to live in the Beijing because they are very expensive, the living cost or their housing very expensive. Or even though just the rent house is very expensive. So people just usually live in satellite town and then they just nighttime they stay the satellite town and the daytime they go to the working in Beijing. And this kind of satellite town is live congestion. The third one is urban expansion. The case study 3 is Chengdu. In Chengdu, maybe it's many people not many heard that, but it's panda. The panda is a kind of animal, so it's very famous Chinese animal. The panda is their habitat in there, so this place is very natural area. So the government they have green space. So this area irrigation system is also UNESCO appoint this area integrate with the urban development. So they have panda habitat in space. Also they have very near the considerable environment. So there are many people to live there and very good the life quality. So this area people, this nearby their countryside to go to the Chengdu to get a job or very high life quality. Also not so much expensive than kind of Beijing and Shanghai. And so they just focus on green area. So suddenly just 30, 40 years, in China developed so fast. There are many the environment problem. So it's government nowadays, how can they solve this problem? But one of the biggest problem is air pollution. So because there are many factory and they are the foreign country, kind of United States or even Korean company or LG, Samsung or Shendai, or so also Japan, Toyota, or kind of many the foreign country to go to the China to make the factory. So they have some coal-fired power or industrial emission. Also, at that time there are many motorbike like Indonesia. So motorbike they use gasoline, and then they have a bike host, and there are air condition. It's air pollution. The air is very bad. So many people there have some disease to cough and kind of things. And government, how can solving problem? And when I was in first time, almost 2010 around, go to then China. Also, it's the air pollution very serious, and sometimes very don't have in the sky, like this. But nowadays the government is very important. They think important the environment, the air. The air is the pollution. They think very serious problem. So they just try to many way to reduce air pollution. So nowadays it's much better about the air, the pollution, the problem. So also it's China is some local area is okay, but it's urban area. There are many people come to there. So it's the water scarcity and pollution. So 40% of Chinese cities face water storage. So it's not enough to water because there are many people. Also, it's 50% of surface water is unusable and can due to the industrial and urban waste. So it's pollution. So water quality is so bad before. So there are many people. How can solve this problem? Nowadays, I know it's Jakarta also kind of same problem. So the politician they worry about how can solve, and because it's very good water quality is very important for people the health. So I heard that Jakarta moved to the Nusantara, but it's Beijing and Shanghai same problem before. So this is also not enough to water because there are many people. So also another problem is the land degradation and habitat loss, and also many the population to come to there. So urban sprawl occupied 3.5 million hectares of farmland, and there are many the farmland that disappears because they are changed and developed. So this is a problem is a decrease in the biodiversity. So it's make it endangered species from fragment inhabitant. So this is so in the biodiversity increase is very important, but nowadays the urbanization and it's a have problem. But so now it's also in China and they make this urbanization or the development of the city. They just consider about how can maintain biodiversity. This is very important for urban planning. So another problem is the waste management. The urban solid waste is one for year for 240 million tons. Only 60% recycle or incinerated. So because it's China, there are many population. So also there are many the waste. But in two years ago, they can separate to the recycling or kind of thing. In Korea already very long time, maybe 20 years, the recycling in trash or kind of, but before is China is maybe they don't have just throw away the trash, just throw away. But now it should be the separate some plastic or some kind of a food trash or many type of the trash is separate and throw away. So because they just China's the follow in Korean. Before I heard it in Korea also didn't do that when I was young. But in Japan, the first to the separate and to throw away trash. But in Korea beginning and now it's China also as well like this. Because there are many some trash and how can solve this problem? And this is very serious problem. So the government to do kind of things. So in this situation, the government now they think the environment is very important. So how can the police in do that? The first one, the ecological civilization, is just national strategy. Is they need to protection in environment to over the rapid growth, and then because they are also very green, the development is very important. So they make some kind of the big building or the kind of urbanization, they should protect some green area. So this is also very national strategy, very important to do that. So also ecological civilization. The second is the air, the quality, the action plan, because in a long time, because there are many factory in China, so their factory use coal or the gasoline or no, it's kind of coal the plant to kind of say there are many pollution to do that. So they just try to the reduction of coal use. Also, very interesting things in China is there are many. They don't have a motorbike. It's gasoline motorbike. They everything electronic motorbike because it's so basically it's now they don't have a gasoline. Also, it's in I heard it's China's most big market in the electronic car because China also own the own company to make electronic car because government if somebody buys some electronic car, government gives so many subside and they give the money to the somebody who make who buy the electronic car. So it's a gasoline cars. There are not very few nowadays. So and because electronic the bicycle and then they don't have many the pollution to the kind of air pollution. So this is one way, one of way. So now they also is Elon Musk. They think it's nowadays very important CO2 the problem. So there are many people to should be to follow some the electronic car or electronic motorbike. So it's the China is the first country to the most fast to the adopt electronic car and the electronic motorbike compare Korea or Japan or compare the United States. China is very fast to adopt. So I'm also very surprised kind of things. So it's one of the water conservation and restoration. Because it's a big city in they not enough water, so it's another place that they make some south to north water projection, and they have some big the lake to the supply 1.3 billion the kind of the water to the from to the other city to the Beijing and Tianjin. So it's a water conservation and restoration kind of place. And also another is green urban planning. And in China, they spongy city is a kind of a Shenzhen, Wuhan, and build is pavement, the wetland to manage rainwater. So it's they have the forest city program and 200 cities plant urban forest. So they have some make the wetland or some rainwater manage or some they have urban forest. This is very important. It's the national the planning. So every the city do the follow this kind of the green urban planning. So also very interesting is the renewable energy push. So government, there are many invest. There are many the renewable energy. So I heard this solar panel. Solar panel is in the world most biggest the solar panel area in China, and in the world the biggest one in the China in have. So it's the world's largest wind solar capacity, and almost the global total is 50% in China have. So it's they have a goal is carbon dioxide decrease until the 2060. So because it's in the renewable energy is important, or the solar energy or the wind energy. So in Korea also adopt to try, but it's I heard it's Korea is not enough the land, so it cannot be the huge area. So this problem. But in Indonesia or China, they have land very big, so very easy to adopt in wind and solar the capacity. So I just think it's Indonesia maybe they have should be adopt renewable energy the strategy. So this is a conclusion, and we need a sustainable urban landscape. So we should have a balance the urban growth and the farmland protection. So if we develop something, we should consider the environment together, and then we should balance. This is very important. So it's also we should reduce carbon emission, so we can have adopt so kind of electronic car or electronic motorbike. Also, we can have some get renewable energy, something like is wind or the solar energy, something like this. Also, we just nowadays focus on smart city. In China, they have AI, artificial intelligence developed very fast. It's almost number 2 in the world. Number 1 is the United States, and second is in China. So it's they want the city is also digital governance. Also, there are many IoT putting there. They have not human being control. So in air pollution or many the city problem, and they have the AI to the adopt AI analysis to and they IoT to get some information to the sensor to the in AI analyst putting there, and then they give some strategy to the. So it's automatically they the controller, and then they give some very good environment to the people. This is some China is a strategy urban planning. So they just try to adopt new technologies, kind of artificial intelligence, IoT, and something like this. Also, Chinese experience offer the lesson and for global sustainable urban development. So this is maybe kind of Vietnam or Thailand or Indonesia. Maybe they can adapt to the Chinese experience, and it's good for the understand how can we prepare in the future. And also Indonesia develop is very fast. So I think that Indonesia is in the future very strong country should be. So but we should have how can to urban planning and urban development to consider environment because it's the urban area so develop faster and maybe there are many problems. So we should understand Chinese case study and then we can adapt and then it's better to the development, the good development. So now it's the urbanization lift is 800 million people. It's also property and very poor, many people because it's in China now is very rich person very rich and poor people very poor. They get very huge. So many people they cannot buy house. Also very poor life. So it's government to worry about to how can this kind of problem because it's they are get very huge. There are many criminal or they have a city problem. So this is also there are kind of a welfare or kind of strategy, and then also many some minimum salaries increase, and there are many ways to the kind of a gap of a rich person and poor people and kind of things, and they try. Also, there are now is air water quality, and since 2013, they are improved. There are many the way. Nowadays in China, it's big cities, air and water quality very nice. Not so nice, but maybe compare the world level, the kind of a developed country compare, it's not so bad. So maybe Indonesia also they just consider about kind of things. So thank you so much. And then maybe I just experience in China. Maybe it's we can understand in Chinese the development, and then maybe if we can the urban planning to the some area, we can understand in Chinese case study. This is very useful to our some the design or our planning. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's finished the presentation.
Thank you, Prof. Chun. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so thank you for the presentation that mentioning about that, explaining about the transformations, yeah, the China's changing landscape, and also not only talking about the challenge and also the strategy from the government regarding the urbanization and also the impacts. So we still have time about 30 minutes. So we will have a question and answer sessions, perhaps from the Handong University. Anyone want to ask something to Prof. Chun, perhaps? You can raise your hand, perhaps. Anyone? Or yeah, from my students, Otalaya Huni, Sabrina, Mas Mbak. Yeah, perhaps I just want to for the first question from me, yeah, Prof. Chun. Yeah, I just curious. Do you think that the government from the China government has different strategy, yeah, regarding the the characteristic of the area, for example, for the big city, medium or small city? Is it any difference strategy or policy, yeah, regarding addressing the urbanization itself? Yeah, in all of the aspect, perhaps from the transportations, yeah, physical, economic, and also the environment. Do they
Yeah,
have
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. The question. So actually, so now it's in China. It's four big city like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen. It's a kind of metropolitan, like a Jakarta or the Surabaya and Seoul and Busan. But another city like is kind of there are many the small city like in the middle city, 그러니까 they have some level. The first level, second level, third level, fourth level. They have a city divided first level. In Nanjing, maybe second level. Maybe Nanjing also 8 million the population. But if they have even second level, the third level is maybe 3 million, 2 million. Or first level, the city is 1 million. So it's because it's China, they want is there are many people to come to get a job in big city. So big city, they have a subway. There are many the transportation, but the first level and third level natural, and they just do the some not too many some kind of not too many some kind of invest infrastructure, but so it's a countryside is more they protect in the natural the resource. So even though somebody for example somebody can buy house, they cannot buy, it's the countryside cannot buy to the in big city the house because it's a big city house. There are many people to buy and many more population. Their strategy is different. So they try to diminish people to come to the satellite the area or the suburban area. And they so also kind of housing or some strategy is different. Also, metropolitan cities they have no land, so they are more not so strict about the protected green space because it's actually they already they don't have the green space, but they even though they just have a strategy not so strict, but it's small city, they more strict about the maintain some green space because it's separate. So the government, Chinese government, try to the big city metropolitan people to go to the in small city. They usually stay there, get a buy house, and they working to the in the big metropolitan, and then they just the finish work and they go back to their another the small city kind of they are try to develop their want. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Chun. Any other questions from Handong University students? Anyone?
Okay, thank you, Prof. My name is Adip. I have question because thank you for the presentation about the give insight about the Chinese for the planning in the city, but maybe in every country have the different problem. So I want to describe what the in Semarang on mega city Jakarta have the problem is land subsidence because you know every years in Semarang city have the problem for the land subsidence. Maybe for the planning, maybe have the different planning for the planning city or planning country because maybe it's simple question. How about have the my Professor Chun have the idea what is the planning for the give recommendation because in Semarang have the problem land subsidence. What is the planning for the give recommendation for the planning issues in the Semarang city? Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps the strategy or recommendation for the related to urban planning for the city that what is it have a challenge regarding the disaster. Can we call the land subsidence as a disaster perhaps or problems? Yeah, environmental problems.
Yeah. Okay. So it's every city is different situation, right? So maybe I've been to the one time Semarang. Semarang is very good city, very nice city. And also it's maybe it's government with different situation should be so it's nowadays I just what kind of things to is develop is my private plan I just explained. I have some our Korean foundation together. We just have some make a school in the Malang and new university, not kind of international school and in Chinese university, the Indonesia University Unity together. Because why like this? We can the student the PBA based project based learning is important, but project based learning is how can we find problem and the solving problem. But it's actually every city different problem. So maybe if we go there and their culture, their climate, or everything different, the student they just see they have their people to talking and then they understand this area to the solving kind of problem. So it's we need this kind of education. So I just adopt kind of so it's our university in Indonesia university is because it's Korean the foundation they support big money to the I just try to the build some the university with some Korean foundation. And so I just stay in Indonesia, maybe just already 2 months, and I suddenly I busy something and come to China. So also I will go to in January. I will go to Indonesia as well. But in so it's we should we teach student to the project based learning and different environment, different the city problems. So so I just think is our university 2 year Indonesia, the 5th year Vietnam, 60 semester in Thailand, 17th semester China, and 8th semester Korea, and then graduate. Because why like this? In the day city problem, every area is different. So it's a Semarang problem. I'm just have one time. It's I didn't talk about many people to I don't understand. But we kind of need to teach method to students. So they are when what kind of the city problem they whenever they go there we make them themselves to solve this problem. This is very important to our the education method. Yeah, in just this kind of answer. I don't know if it's okay or not, but in my opinion, like this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we have to recognize, yeah, and understand the characteristic of our locus, yeah, or our area. And to recognize and understand the area, we can use, like you mentioned, project-based learning, yeah, which is we can produce or arrange some policies, yeah, regarding the characteristic of the projects. Yeah, we still have about 20 minutes. So 1 or 2 questions from the online participants. Anyone?
May I, Bu Santi?
Yeah, Prof.
Can you, I hope you can hear my voice. Now I moved to the other room, so I use my mobile instead of join directly in the room. Thank you, Prof. Chun, for your presentation. I hope you can hear my voice clearly. I just want, you mentioned one of the issues in China is about something related with water, waste, yeah. And I want to know more because I know that it is quite famous about the implementation on spongy concept, sponge concept in China, how to address water issues, including with other issues to promote a more green cities. Can you tell us more a little bit about this, Prof. Jun? Spongy or sponge concept?
Spongy city, ya, Bu.
Spongy city concept. Sorry, yes, sponge city concept. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So it's also in China also before it's same problem with Jakarta. In Jakarta also there are many it's not enough to water and also water quality and because it's their things they make a wetland and then they wetland very big wetland and then they just have a raining and then they make a wetland and the wetland is automatically they just recycling in the water quality. So they have a very big wetland, and then to protect and this wetland, and then this is the city area. They should have a wetland, and then they have the recycle the quality recycle, and then they just put in, because some people to in the house or factory they make us the water, right, the pollution water, but this pollution water is directly go to the ocean. They cannot enter some wetland, or there's just a lake. They cannot enter. So, but just the raining water is very clean. So raining water, just wetland and lake, and put in there, just the kind of pollution water is directly to the maker some the pipe. They directly go to the ocean. So they should separate, and then so because I don't know exactly Indonesia in situation, but I think that maybe in the housing or factory they make some bad water, and then it's dirty water. They should put it together to the some just a river or wetland or some lake and put it together. Maybe, and then maybe they are the water, they automatically they recycling ability disappear, because it's but this is problem. So in China they should have some separate, and the bad water to directly go to ocean, but they make us the wetland and maintain, and then they, even though some little bit water quality is not good, and then automatically they just recycling, and this is their strategy, and then they just government also very they think it's important. So it's, I heard even in China, they are in my the university is located in Nanjing. They are a very big lake or a big the wetland. They, even though it's city area, but it's they maintain very good water quality. So they not enough water. They use this water to the people. To kind of this kind of their strategy, something like this. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. So you think this has been successfully implemented in many Chinese cities, yeah, and government play an important role on this initiative. Am I understand that correctly?
Yeah, right. So, but I don't know. It's in Jakarta now. It's this is kind of is very the serious problem, right?
Yeah.
Like this. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, but it's they need time, because it's not so easy to fast the solve problem. But in China also 30, 40 years very serious problem, because the water is, even though even take shower, they just very yellow water put in there, and then like this. But
Yeah.
nowadays very good quality. Even
I see.
China, they try to the in Beijing and Shanghai, they, even though they just the public work water can drink, they just want to like kind of goal, like the Western country like Australia. So maybe we should understand to the Chinese the example, and then we can adopt in Indonesia. It's also a good way. Yeah.
Thank you. Look forward to have further discussion about this with you, because I know that government also interested in applying this approach in Jakarta and also other cities in Indonesia. Thank you, Prof. Chun. Hand it over to you, Bu Santi.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe can we have a last question, Prof. Chun?
Hello, Prof. Chun. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Fajar. I'm a lecturer in Diponegoro University. I'm interested in the transformation of Shenzhen. In my opinion, it's not actually a transformation, but it's very changing. I mean, a changement in very basic changement, even for the function of the city, coming from the fisherman village and changing into a very different function of the city. It reminds me to Batam. Batam has actually the same experience, but we still have what we call maybe as walking in the same place for Batam, very different with Shenzhen. And my question is actually, could you please explain us what kind of symbiotic combination of urban elements that has been built in Shenzhen to have the very significant changing from the fisherman town into a very different function of cities. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. It's yeah. So it's Shenzhen is very also one of some representative with Chinese developments and from since 1978 because it's prime minister, not prime minister, the secretary general, the secretary party secretary exactly party secretary, Communist Party secretary Deng Xiaoping. Maybe everybody know. He have a strategy to east area to develop first and west area. So why they the selection Shenzhen. Shenzhen is near the Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is a kind of a financial hub. So they very easy to open market and they very easy to communication the Western country because at that time Hong Kong is in United Kingdom, the colony of not colony kind of is also included in United Kingdom. And then maybe 1990s and the Hong Kong to UK to the China, but at that time 1978 and that time is in Shenzhen. It's Hong Kong is in Kingdom, so it's very easy to adapt their west 20-30 minutes from the Hong Kong to the Shenzhen. So it's they just try to because the follow is some Hong Kong the development. So this is so Shenzhen is at that time many people to want to working in Hong Kong, and also many students or many worker want to work in the Hong Kong. And then they first time they just to housing because of Hong Kong people in working, and then in Chinese people to go to the Hong Kong and they're working and they come back to the Shenzhen, they stay. But it's getting development. Many people come to here. Now it's Shenzhen is kind of a special economy zone, and that they have many the company headquarters come there, and then also financial company, and then there are many in the world, many financial invested the bank to invest in the Shenzhen. And so they have many benefit to the many company like Huawei. Huawei is the most biggest biggest company, some electronic company. Also, Tencent. Do you know Tencent? And then there are many. The WeChat is from Tencent, right? WeChat kind of. There are many the big company to the headquarters located in Shenzhen because it's the national government is government to the many benefit to the in company to the people they located in Shenzhen. So nowadays Shenzhen is a very big city, is bigger than Hong Kong. So nowadays, so it's getting bigger. Now many, even though it's in Nanjing, my university student, they graduate, they just get a job in Shenzhen because there are many company. So many company is a kind of a financial company or a headquarter in Shenzhen. So it's because it's Beijing is a political area. It's a more political area. It's Shanghai is also one of some. Shanghai is a kind of financer, but in Shenzhen it's a company and finance invest the bank or global company put it together. So it's very special area. So it's a maybe I think there's also in Indonesia need kind of a development to some area like or Nusantara. I don't know. It's maybe the teacher understand than me, but it's maybe it's Jakarta. It's maybe still have a problem. They maybe I think it's Semarang is a good place like changes the Shenzhen. So we need kind of some special the economy zone make Indonesia because Indonesia also I think the Indonesia in the future very good because it's in my Korean in perspective and many Korean company into the China, but China is not good to situation because already the labor the salary very high and not easy. So Chinese government also know that they now is just a factory kind of the build is not enough. So they they just get some high technology, AI kind of, but in Indonesia, maybe have the chance. So we just follow kind of development. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not sure it's enough or not. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Chun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the time is almost finished. So thank you from Prof. Chun for the like who willing to give willing lecture today, and we will have you tomorrow again in another occasion and another topics. And thank you for the Handong University students and also from UNIP students who participate this lecture online and offline. And don't forget to fill the the part attendance list ya, Bu Maya ya. But before we finish our lecture, can we take a picture so you can open your camera for all of the participants? Okay, can I count, Mas Imam? Yeah. So give your best smile. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Give your best smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for all of the participants. See you next time and soon ya in Semarang. Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prof.
Prof.
Chun.
Chun.
Yeah, thank you.
So much.
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
forward to Prof. Chun.
Yeah.